Hi, my name is Max Fleshman. I recently went 5-0 at the Louisville box tournament that happened yesterday. I was playing Altergeist. My matchups were 2 Emancipators, a Sky Striker player, an Infernoid player, and a Prankits player. I only dropped 1 game, and it was to a Prankits player who wiped my monsters twice, and it was my turn 1, and I didn't have any way to recover. So I'm going to go ahead and start the profile, get some light in here going. We'll start with the spells first, spice it up a little bit. 2 Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality works with both extravagance and prosperity, so it helps you just dig further in the deck. A great consistency card, doesn't conflict with either of the other 2 spells. 2 Pot of Extravagance. We play 2 because we prefer to see prosperity over extravagance 99% of the time. We still play both prosperity and extravagance to increase our chances of drawing one of the power pots being extravagance and prosperity. People worry about it conflicting. You'd rather play 5 versus 3 to hope to see 1 than expect to see 2 and play less consistency cards because you don't want to draw 2 of them. And the 3 prosperity fixes a lot of issues with this deck, mainly having Faker turn 1. You know, it's great to be able to play this and search a Faker and normal a Marionetter instead of having to normal summon the Meliseek to search a Faker. This card does so much, and you know, you can really just think of how great of a card it is, especially for seeing the side deck games 2 and 3. This card's amazing. Alright, then we'll go in the traps. 2 Solemn Judgments. This is to stop blowout cards and any counter all to most things. Summons and activations of cards and effects. Greatest play that I had with it was just having to Judgment and Imperm, for an example, on my Faker when I was dropping it during their turn. Next we play 3 Strikes. Strikes interact more with a setup board than Judgment does, so we play 3 of them. Negate the negate, destroy the monster, remove the big issue. I'll be going over these cards relatively fast. You should know that there's way more utility than what I'll be discussing in this video for like all these cards, but you can think for yourself on why these cards would be good. Evenly matched in the main, 2 of them really counteracts like Bird board turn 1, counteracts a lot of Eldritch boards, any control, and I think we'll be seeing more Guru and stuff, so I put it in the main. Worked really well, went off a couple times, won me some games. Won me a game. Helped in a lot of stances. We play 3 Torrential Tributes. This is our main removal card. Torrential, and then with a clean board where they have to pass, where you have a Faker and a Meliseek on field, is basically game. If you have a single trap in the back to back it up. You know what I mean? Like, honestly. This card, when you play it right, will win you games. It will. It will cause your opponent to lose. We play 2 Rivalry, the Warlords. Now, with Dragon Link going in the future being probably one of the top combo decks, this card will still have some uses, but it might get moved. I just wanted to play 2 stunny floodgates in the deck. I'm not playing Ice Dragon's Prison, nor am I playing Punishment, and those are cards that I used to run, but instead we're trying to counteract the issues that Ice Dragon has with Faker by playing cards that just prevent like the issues like Dragoon coming out that you would have Ice Dragon's Prison in the deck for. This prevents them from ever getting there in most cases unless they just hard activate turn 1 fusion. We played it over anti-spell in the main because it can do things going second. It can break boards. Say they try to negate it and they got a field with a bunch of different monsters on, then you strike and then they're left with 1. Then for the hand traps, 2 Bell. Whoops. 2 Bell. Bell is generically very good. Stops Eldixirs, invocations, anything that special summons from grave. It has a lot of utility in places you wouldn't expect against Rogue and Meta. Then 3 Ash. Generically great card. I don't think I could play a deck without Ash, really. I don't think the format will ever really tire of where Ash is at least usable during your opponent's first turn. Then we play 2 spoofing. We cut it to 2 because prosperity, extravagance, and duality really help you search your key pieces if you don't hard draw Faker in the Altergeist way or in the spoofing way. 1 protocol, 1 manifestation. Some people opt to choose 2. I'm still sticking with 1/1. It sucks when it gets banished, but it's not that huge a deal. Normally, if you have a board past turn 1, you will be able to protect either of these cards from being banished or just hit by any generic spell trap removal with either Silk or spoofing. If it goes to grave, you just Silk it back. You know, a lot of games really run on Silk continuously recycling traps that you send to grave with, like Mario, for example, to reset them to continuously activate Faker every turn. And for the Altergeist monsters, we play Conquery. She's still here. 2 Silk, still at 2. 3 Meluseek, still at 3. 3 Marionetter. All these ratios are the same for the Altergeist monsters. You should know what all these do. I guess probably every list I'll do, I'll try to throw in a tip. Mario, use its second effect to special summon Meluseek whenever you're done attacking with Hextia and Marionetter for 47. Main phase 2, swap these 2 out if you're in your position. That way you get a trigger whenever you use Hextia, sending Meluseek. It helps you just further gain advantage while doing your typical plays. And to seasoned Geist people, they'll be like, yeah, duh. But you know, for the newer people, it's always great to catch these things early. For the extra deck, those are our Link 1s. This is our best one, of course. This is situational and helps, since we're playing Rivalry, if we set that and we need to trigger something, say a Meluseek, we just summon this. This is also better than this in terms that if you draw Manifestation plus Silk or Marionetter, you can still make this, set the Manifestation, then it's activatable versus being a brick in the hand. You want to be careful though when you're playing this to make sure you don't lock yourself out of your Link zones, your EMZ. And you need to get rid of it quickly. Or, you know, if you have a torrential and you know what's going on, you'll summon this over this, you know what I'm saying? This is what if for Meluseek, because people make mistakes, and you can capitalize on that, especially in Geist. Our Link 2s, generic, core. Hextia, not once per turn, breaks people's minds sometimes, gets people really frustrated. I think it's not why I picked up foreign cards, but playing some foreign cards, it really makes you laugh how upset people get whenever they check on something, whenever you tell them what it is, and they have to check the database, and they learn that, you know, it is as broken as I'm saying it is. It's fun to watch. And then a Hagafibrax, also for the Link 2s, and for our Link 3s, we're playing Nightmare, Ningirsu, and Celine. This could be anything else because we're not playing Effect Veiler, so it doesn't really, you know, combo the way that it used to with specialing Effect Veiler off Hal going into this and then summoning one back for a free access code. This could really be anything. This gets rid of stuff generically by sending, non-targeting removal. This shuffles. It's good to draw a card off this sometimes. It's cute. For our Link 4s, this is our muscle. This is used to take out Dragoons and Friends. All these cards out most boss monsters in their own way. They all get over Dragoon, I believe. I'll have to check with Boral Sword, but I do believe it'll still gain its attack and your opponent just doesn't lose their half. But if it doesn't interact like that, we still have these 2 in Boral Sword for game. I can't say I've made any of these in ages, honestly. During the entire event, I made none of these. The only cards that I made were Link 1s and Hexias, and that was it. That's what this deck can do when played correctly. For our side deck, 1 Duster, 3 Clone, 2 Anti-Spell, and an Imperial Order. Anti-Spell we played 2 of because we have a lot of pots. We only side in Imperial Order when it's absolutely like necessary. Normally we'll side this in going first. If it's really spell heavy, of course, we will side in the Imperial. Sometimes we'll just side in these 2. We got evenly matched, the third copy up in here, third copy of the Judgment, 3 Kaijus. These will all be good Darla. Altergeist doesn't have to worry about the wind barrier statue quite as much, games 2 and 3, because normally they'll want to summon like Smorg or something like that. But this is just in case. We can still tribute anything, even under the statue, as it is a wind. Then 3 nibs. I didn't side this in the entire day. I feel like this card might be on the block, or could be on the block for getting cut in Altergeist. It's better drawing cards at break boards than like having your opening hand and praying for one of the 5 cards being a nib, in my opinion. And that's why we just play like the Kaijus and the Evenlies and stuff like that. Of course, this will be better in a lot of cases, but the fact you have to draw it turn 1 just makes it a lesser card, in my opinion. And there's the profile. The Infernoid player was really salty. If you see this, take a chill pill. Altergeist is a good deck. Altergeist takes time to like learn, and you have to care about keeping up with it, or else you will look like a dumb idiot playing Altergeist, and you will mess up and you will lose games. Altergeist punishes itself really hard if you don't make the optimal plays. It rewards you really hard if you do. With Prosperity being out, this is probably one of my favorite times that this deck has existed right now, honestly. You'll be surprised how much all of the trap cards that we have affect the meta. I'm telling you, this deck is crazy. You know, this profile is really good. I really enjoy it. It's just a local, so you know, I'm not saying like I'm doing anything different than other Geist players. I just think that this deck build is really solid, really built well, and very consistent. And I think when people start warming up to the ideas of having 5 power pots in the main deck versus just 3 and having to choose one over the other, you will see more success with this deck. I hope more people look into it, and everybody that has a little bit of enjoyment out of trolling a little bit in their heart, you will love this deck. Playing during your opponent's turn and interacting with them on everything they do, you can really watch it get to their head quickly. I've seen people throw games that I think I'm gonna lose, like they'll outgrind me or something, that I think they can outgrind me, and they'll get so frustrated. I've seen people scoop stuff up and go to the next game. And you know, we take those. That is part of the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! You should never manipulate your opponent. But if you're playing cards and they do it to themselves, that is still beneficial to you. Always read your opponent's cards. Always take time thinking. Do not rush your trap cards too fast. I think people say, like, for example, like, don't blow your load too early. And I don't mean that in the crass way, but like, if your opponent does their first normal and you torrential and then activate Faker, and then they like gamma you or something like that, and then they proceed to do the rest of everything they could do, like, you're gonna lose that game, and it's because you activated torrential and then activated Faker while they have no cards on field so early on, like when you know that their plays aren't done. You cannot shotgun effects in this deck, or you will be punished often. You know, I really hope people that are looking in this deck realize that this deck is probably one of the most intricate control decks ever made. And it can do so much more, and that's why I enjoy it a lot more than like playing like Guru or like Stun, stuff like that. I'm not big fans of decks like that where it's all floodgates, strikes, and like one Oonga Boonga monster, or 2 if you add Dragoon in there. So I hope you enjoyed the deck profile and a little bit of an explanation. I'll let you know how the next one goes. Thanks, this has been Max.